Hi guys, it's me. It's New Year's Eve day actually, and I don't really have anything specific to talk about. But I guess we can talk about just basically just shoot the breeze with you. Oh, sometimes I'm not very comfortable feeling the microphone is like right in my lap, but anyway, of course, as I said, it's New Year's Eve day. And, I don't want to talk about anything bad news in the world of news because, first of all, it's pretty depressing. So how about some good news? We figured out what was wrong with a brand new CFL that we bought for the studio that, didn't work out of the box. It didn't work out of the box because it seems that the manufacturer did not attach one of the wires to the base of the bulb. In other words, one wire was attached, but the other one was not. How do we find that out? Well, actually, we found that out in a very unique way. You see, we had another problem with the other bulb, which is that the one that's the key light had come apart and was when it fell. And the center contact wire had come loose. Now, I was trying to solder it, and I couldn't get the solder to stick no matter what I did. And then I managed to get the contact to come out, and then I saw that it was a threaded connector pin. And I realized that they never used solder in the first place. It was just basically a press-on fit. So I said to myself as well, the Lumi said to me, she said, "Can I tell a story? Because I would think I said to Michele, maybe that's why the other light didn't work, was because maybe something had come wrong with the center pin, maybe came off. Well, it didn't. It was the outer rim of the wire that goes on the outside of the base. It was never attached. Fortunately enough, it was able to solder the wire to the base, and now we got two working CFLs as spares. So now we have two extras, which means that we can put the two in the other studio. Yes, we could put the other two in the studio as well. Also, me and Michele did a couple profile tests for personality because people always wondered, how can you tell who's who? And one of the ways you can tell who's who is how they tend to respond to the circumstances around them. I tend to be a little less worried about the details and issues. Michele is more detailed oriented. So obviously Michele, when she was taking a look at that fixture, she was very methodical, taking it apart, trying to find out where the wire had worked loose. And so it was just a very interesting, short, simple exercise to fix the base on the bulb so we could have two working CFLs. And also, Jessica Wall had apparently left Google+. I don't know, was that really good or bad? I'm not sure because looking at some of her information that she was presenting on her Google Plus and her YouTube page showed me that she was very, very much into much into bathrooms, and I wouldn't say anal, but anal sometimes is what Freud would say she would be is considered anal. So I think that she probably just enjoyed trying to be that kind of a personality. That's fine, but unfortunately, like I said, she called me a fat loser, and I don't see myself as a fat loser. I see myself as a fat winner. because look at all the stuff that me and Michele do out there. Go out there and talk to the public. We're trying to educate you. We don't have to. We're not required to. We're not required to by any kind of court of law or anything like that, saying that we have to do community service. We just want to. We enjoy it. We enjoy being part of the community at large. And Michele's getting her graphic. Yeah. Oh, got a little cold though. Well, it's okay. Yeah. So anyway, the point is that we got a lot going on in this month of January. Probably within the next 3 months, we're going to be seeing some new changes in the studio here. As I said, in 3 months' time. First thing is we're going to finish the stand. Yeah, and that's going to be a bit of a challenge because we don't know if that's going to really work out quite as well as we'd like, but that's something else. Yeah, that's something else. In addition to that, we also have been, I want to remind you that I'm going to be getting my hair redone on Tuesday. Yeah, it looks like in the last week it really started to shoot out and grow really long. Yeah. You know, I was trying to find out if there is a Guinness Book of World Record for the world's fastest growing hair, and I couldn't find one. No. There might be, but I don't really know if I don't think you really necessarily have it. I mean, I guess you could, but I mean, even Keith didn't think your hair was really a record breaker. Yeah. Okay. Now, also, I'd like to remind you all to get a chance to watch Frozen. It's playing in many theaters right now. Absolutely. It sounds like it's going to be a great movie. We have several pieces of music from Frozen that have been presented by Walt Disney onto YouTube. And the Let It Go song is one of them. And it's not related to a country song called Let It Go. It's a little different song. Yeah. Still, I mean, it's a cool story, and I think it's worth watching just for the sake of the story, but also, for the price of a ticket and getting a chance to get out for a little while, I guess that would be pretty good, because you get a chance to enjoy some of the thoughts and some of the story. And, like you said, like I know you're a bit more of an introvert than an extrovert, but I think for you to want to see that movie tells me that you're willing to face a little bit of social discomfort to go see a film that, you know, instead of sitting in the house and renting a DVD. Well, I don't particularly mind DVDs as much. It's just that, you know, kind of sucks because I just kind of would like once in a while to see it in a unique environment. And since it is playing in 3D and IMAX, yes, that's right, it is in 3D and digital. I want to experience that. I want to see how that really goes with the digital theater feeling. The last time I saw a 3D movie in a movie theater was Jaws 3D. Yeah. And Jaws 3D for you, this is back in the early 80s, didn't really excite you. No, because it didn't, the polarizing lenses did not work good with my eyesight. No. And I think this new technology uses a different technology to do 3D. If it's anything like Video Toaster on Amiga, yeah, it definitely does. It uses special eyeglasses, or electronic glasses that flickers to frame. Yeah, I gotta admit, I think it would be great to see how that works out for you, and it would be enjoyable too. Now, obviously, for those of you who are wondering, what are we going to do with that blue wall behind us? Yeah, this wall. We are going to get the chroma key screen, and then we will begin the process of showing you a custom backdrop that would be more, like, not just blue, but close to, like, you could have, like, the snowflakes or a photograph or something like that. We want to be part of it. Yeah. Or we could probably even take a picture of downtown Main Street and a live video of it and then superimpose this on top of it. Yeah, you could do that. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so that's a cool thing. And then, of course, like you see it sometimes in the movies or on TV shows and things like that, like newscasts, you'll sometimes see, like, behind like on Brett Beer on Special Report, you see him, like, in front of the White House. Sometimes he's not really. Sometimes he's not. In the studio, he's not in front of the White House. Also, there is no reason why you could not. They do have a backdrop that represents looking out the window of a palace palatial garden, which could be pretty cool. It's a little more expensive though. It's like $27. It's not quite chroma key. It's not chroma key. By the way, I wanted to ask you what your plans are for your channel. My channel, I need more people, but I'm not sure if they really care to be part of my channel. I mean, what do you suggest I should do? I mean, that's the question. Well, we could put this on your channel. Then no one will see it. Even though it is right there. See, that's where your channel has been doing good. Because you're on YouTube. So you. You're on Facebook. Right, you're not. You're on Twitter. And you're not. You're on Google Plus, as you are. The only one you're on is Google Plus. Right. And I could go on Blogger, but I don't really know if anybody really wants a Blogger page. And maybe the problem that I'm also running into is that people are getting kind of sick and tired of hearing about this deep level topics of spirituality. I know you love spirituality. I know I love spirituality, but you also try to be a little more mainstream. But I think people are getting tired of that after the 2012 thing. I mean, I think that after listening to about the Enlightenment from Dolores Canyon and everyone else, I was like, oh, I'm sorry. If you're going to sit there and tell me more about how my energies and my psychic energies and the new energies, I'm going to basically change the channel. Well, a lot of people felt that a lot of that New Age stuff is very difficult to understand. Yeah, it definitely is, a lot of it was really overhyped, and it has caused a problem for people who are just trying to understand what their own feelings were. And so you're right, I think there definitely was an overhyping, and that is the reason why we need to make sure not to allow it to happen to us again. We need to find a way to reach out to the American persons, but not to the point where we're actually boring them to tears about statistics. Anyway, so where do you think we stand as far as events in the world go? Well, you're pretty knowledgeable. I think you could figure out some things in the world that are important to you and work your way up. Okay. Also, there is some question about where is the American human race going? Oh, let's talk about that. This is another year coming up, right? And traditionally, New Year is when we look at the year in past. And we try to examine where we have come as a people. And try to predict, like you asked, where we're going. So, We'll start by breaking it down into several categories. The first one is technology. The second one is politics. And the third one is humanity. Now, in the technology area, we have, in the last few years, we have really seen our communications technology explode, especially for things like robotics, things such as artificial intelligence, advances in cell phone touchscreens, software, which is also unfortunately related to the NSA, CIA, and FBI and other surveillance snooping operations, as well as the many crackers who have been causing great damage to the world around them. Because technology has made it so easy for people to find themselves kind of more like caught in a dehumanizing thing, which brings us to humanity. A lot of people feel that in the last year is that human beings have become more and more unnecessary. Because we have computers now that can do so much by themselves. Again, technological unemployment has things that are robotics and other things have resulted in people not having a job or having a sense of feeling that they have a reason to be here. And that, of course, has created problems, because that which brings us to political. That means governments and things in the world are finding out that they got a huge group of people who feel very disenfranchised and are incapable to begin the process of fixing the problems. That a lot of them was started by technology, which has influenced humanity, which has influenced their political situation. Human beings feel dehumanized. They feel that they have nothing. And the governments that turn a cold, jaundiced eye towards those people are beginning to see the anger and the frustration in the hearts of the constituents, as the constituents are saying, I'll be very polite when I say it, but blunt, you're not doing nothing for me. You're not helping me keep myself fed. You're not providing my safety. You're not providing me with shelter. You're not providing me with security. And people are beginning to rise up. It happened in England. It's happened in the past with the poor got mad at the British government. It's happening now in England still because of the Department of Work and Pensions has finding themselves between a rock and a hard place. Right. And it's going on also in Morsi in Egypt. It's going on with in Syria, where the people are upset that the country has let them down. The government has let them down. But let's look at one thing here. The people put these people on, or at least in the United States, at least. I can say at least it's the United States. I'll leave the other countries out of it for a little bit, just because it's easier. If your congressman is not, and senator, and mayor, or governor, is not at least looking at the needs of the people that put them into office, then something has to be done. And we have the right, when we go vote, to try, and I know as I said the operative word, try to find a better person that is willing to serve the needs of the people who put them into office. In the United States, a lot of Americans have a sense of apathy. They don't feel that the congressional people are listening to their needs. And you know what? The sad truth is, the congressional people are listening to the needs of big business, who finance their campaigns. It's not the little guy who finances a governorship or a senatorship or even a House of Representative member or even a local state legislative members either, right? Or even the first selectman in the town of Winston. It's big business who pays for their campaigns and from campaign contributions. So yes, people do feel that they have been let down. And they have been. But maybe, just maybe, we can begin the process of changing things for the better. If we could just figure out what is the problem. What is the problem? The problem is that the American people need to take back what is rightfully their vote and say, and this is where you is informed. It's a key piece here. You need to know and understand what these people are trying to do. And you gotta be up on the hot button issues. And you gotta keep pushing those buttons and demanding answers. If you're not doing your homework, you cannot blame these critters for not doing theirs. Okay? They only do what you tell them to do. If you don't say nothing, they think everything's fine. That's the problem. But the problem also is that you also got many politicians, as I said, who think about big business because they fork out the money. Unfortunately, the low-income people are not likely to have money for a, come here, Rusty. They're not going to have money for financing campaigns. And so they're kind of just left on the wayside. It's wrong, but we got to work on trying to stick with, in the case of the United States, we have a U.S. Constitution. And that Constitution very clearly says, we, for the people, by the people, and we are those people. And that there is no one who is greater or any less important than anyone else. For it says, in the Declaration of Independence, we believe that all men and women were created equal under the authority of the Almighty Goddess and God. Okay? But, unfortunately, too many times, too many politicians have said, guess what? We're not playing that game. Okay? Then you're probably not likely to be in office very long. Come on up here. Ah, Steve! Come on. He's getting big. He's getting big. Growing up. Growing up just like everybody else is. So, okay, so what do you think about, with the technology, I'm glad you brought that up. What does that do for the studio? Where do you plan to take this channel? I still believe we need to advocate for all people. And I still believe that we need to not necessarily give a negative spin on things. I can go to any channel on YouTube that does news. And for most cases, including Alex Jones, it's all you ever hear him talk about is bad stuff. I'd like to see, when possible, and I will be open on this, that we try to focus on positive news and a positive spin. And I want to explore new technology. You want what kind of technology? Well, you mentioned the chroma key screen right there. Yeah, okay, that would be a definite asset. Except, with your eyesight, you should be able to do the equivalent of, for example, standing up and memorize where a map is laid out when you're pointing to the green screen, you're trying to show the weather systems and all that? Or do you think it would maybe be easier to use a front projection, such as an overhead projector or digital video projector, to show on a white screen the weather information? Well, that's a great question because, overhead projectors are cheap. Well, yes, standard ones are. Yeah, standard and office ones. with transparencies. Yeah, and, print the transparencies on the laser printer, and then at least I have the plastic sheet, and I just on the table using a pen or a marker. I can mark out the systems and the weather conditions that I need to demonstrate. Yeah, so that's what I'm also looking into, and that will be a lot easier also because it'll be easier for you to make do it. Would you ever go with the digital technology? Yeah, I would consider it. Because the only problem is that I have a hard enough time just trying to wrap my head around some of the technology out there now. I mean, iMovie 9 with its overlays for chroma key it's not the same thing as iMovie 6 HD, because iMovie 6 is much simpler in a sense. It doesn't have as many advanced optical effects, but when I sit there, it's like I said one time before, it's like using an old Moviola. Okay, I take my video, okay, I cut it into sections, hang them on the equivalent of hooks, so I understand this concept from a film perspective. Okay, back in the old days of motion pictures, film was the most common. What you would do is with a Moviola type editing system is you get your real film back from the photo lab, okay, and you would sit there with your splicing block or your cutting block. You use what they call Moviola cutter. So let's say, for example, there's a couple shots you see you want to keep. So what you do is, as you're running the film through, you hit the chop bar, and then that will cut that piece of negative out or positive out, and then you can hang it on the little hook, or gently roll up a little roll and put it on a little pegboard. So you could have all the different pieces of footage. And then, as you're ready to do the splicing on the splicing table, you would just go ahead and take all the loose pieces and you would join them together. And of course, obviously, when we say cutting room floor using a cutter, you would just, if it's something you're not going to use, you would just go ahead and hit cut, and it goes into a garbage can, and it never gets used. Some people save those things, but some people don't. Well, we do that a lot now with the iMovie 6. Same thing, cutting them out. Like sometimes Michele wants to say something, but says it backwards, and then she has to go back and fix it. So she'll cut out the segment she wanted to say before, hang it onto the little pegs on there, and then put the cursor to where she wants to put it, take the clip after she marks that spot by hitting the Command T, and then she takes that clip and she puts it in there. Yeah, the T represents almost like the cutting bar, the T-bar, which is, makes a lot of sense to me. iMovie 9 doesn't do that. No, it does not do that. In fact, iMovie 9 is more like working, kind of more like a work table using a flatbed. So it's not the same thing. Actually, I definitely found a Cat Express is really like a flatbed. Yeah. No wonder why you get lost. Yeah, I'm willing to learn new software, but it does make it harder. So what we're trying to get at is would you rather stick with the iMovie 6 HD or go with iMovie 9, or maybe eventually get to learn how to use Final Cut Pro, Final Cut Express? I would think that pretty much the way I would like to do it. I use iMovie 9 when necessary. I use iMovie 6 for everything else, because it's easy enough for me to understand, and I've been using it for now 2 years for doing filming, and it makes my life a lot easier. And it's not really too complicated. Besides, I already paid for a shareware program for iMovie 6, which lets you impose pictures on the background. The chroma key one doesn't work very well. No. But the other one that lets me take a static image from CFX and put it on my black wall does work. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that does work. It's cool too. It's cool. So that's definitely where I'm going to go with this. I think it's definitely. So you think an overhead projector would make more sense than to buy the chroma key green screen, or would it make sense to use both? Well, let me see. Let me just take some real quick here. This is my billing statement for JCPenney. Okay. You're doing pretty good. Yep. Okay. Now, let me explain something Lumi was talking about. And to understand this, we are going to, if you bear with me for a second, I want to show this by literally explaining it by, now, for those of you, it doesn't turn that well. Okay. This is a movie screen. Okay? Now, so it goes up. Okay. Alright. And then this goes up like this. And then this goes up like this. Okay, now, let's explain this. And that goes like that. Of course, you gotta square it up. What we could do with this, pretty lopsided. Yeah, it is pretty lopsided. And part of the reason is because the stand is got a bent leg. Okay, is I can take this stand and I can use this to do a video. I can do overhead transparencies, which is a lot less complicated, yes, than doing it with the chroma key. Or because as I'm looking at the overhead transparency, I can, using a pointer, I'd be able to point out to you the things that need to be done. Like when I'm showing you the map of the United States, it'd be very easy to have the map and show you the fronts and the things like that using a pointer. You can't really do that too well with chroma key unless you really have a way of actually viewing it on a video monitor near you. And with my legal blindness, it would be very difficult to do that. Okay, so, okay, this is good. Let's do it. Okay, and this goes back very blunt. So, now, so, in that sense, the first thing of using chroma key would not do is it really would be very, very difficult for a person who has a visual impairment like mine to show you an interactive thing. And there's nothing. The other thing is very serious. The chroma key software setup is post-production, not interactive production in it live. In other words, I have to create the maps and the footage after the shot is done. Which means, as far as I can tell, I could be sitting there and I could be waving my fingers at the wrong thing, and it would really confuse the pee out of you. So if we had using an overhead transparencies, or if I could afford a live, on-the-spot chroma key processor, it would be much easier to make sure that if I'm talking about the North American continent weather pattern, to be sure I am talking about the real, honest to God, North American weather pattern. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's the reason why I'm thinking that we need to consider using the overhead transparencies or even possibly a digital video projector. Now, overhead projectors are fairly inexpensive. I mean, you can get one for maybe about $60 used, okay? And the transparency material is not that bad of a price either. And then you can just go ahead and get regular standard Sharpie markers, medium markers like I have here, and I can show you by doodling on the markers. Okay. But there is one thing that is always going to be a problem, and that is this. Yeah, the microphone. Because the microphone is stationary. However, we can put a parabolic reflector on the outside. Yes, and that would allow us to channel more of the sound for now back to the microphone, so we don't have to be right on top of it. Okay? So that sounds doable. So you think that the chroma key screen would probably be nice for looks, but it would probably not help for presentations. Correct. Okay. Okay, that's what I thought. So, no, you said you, also, yes, sir, you said that you would not really, or Monday, that you would not mention the weather, for Wednesday, coming up until you had more of a clear idea of where we stood. What is the latest notes from the National Weather Service? The National Weather Service shows that we're supposed to get about 5 to 6 centimeters of snow. Now, I don't know. It seems to me that that the upper atmospheres are going to be very cold. I watched the Weather Channel to see what they were showing on their on the phone there, and it looks like the system of more of the hard snow would be in the upper New York area, and a good portion of the United States wouldn't really get much snow at all. Except maybe the center of the country. So I have to say is we might get some snow, but then again we may not get some snow. We might not get more than 5 or 6 centimeters. But we could. I mean, it all depends on which way the system goes. I mean, it's at the time of recording this, it's Tuesday, and Friday is still about 3 days away, so you could still see a lot of potential snow. Events could still change. Yeah, that's happened before. So, I can just tell you that the weather for the next few days shows that, we might have some snow of significance, or it may not be nothing at all. Okay? So now, this month, what are you planning to buy for the studio, if anything? Well, originally I was supposed to buy the chroma key screen, but we kind of already explained that we don't think that would necessarily, be feasible. No, I don't think it would be feasible. Okay? So, I mean, as I said, for some things it would work great, but for some things it would just be throwing money away. On the other hand, it's on sale right now for about $17. It's on sale. Yeah. Yeah, it's on sale. No. It's not really something I'm really excited about. It's not like it's really getting me all excited to think about, oh, goody, I get to buy a green piece of cloth. I was going to buy a microphone. Yeah. I didn't buy that either. No. The stand I probably can get the 1/8 inch connector, 3/8 inch compression connector. See, this is a piece of copper tubing for gas originally, for propane gasoline. 3/8 inch compression fitting. Cramp that on here. Okay, it's got 3/8 inch threads on the end. And if we're lucky, should be able to thread it into a standard microphone stand. Yeah. But I don't know how well that works. I don't know either, because I have no... But the problem is that... Because what I was saying was, so we can make some money making microphone stands. Yeah, maybe you make money, but, what, $100 a piece? Something like that. Oh, you can't write, but you can buy cheap Chinese knockoff for $20. You're going to spend $100? Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. Alright, guys, listen. Let me gotta let you go. I want you to have a happy and safe New Year. And don't forget, if you're going to be checking out the playlists, please don't forget that as of tomorrow, all the new playlists will be in Snow Queen 2014 radio and video broadcasts. Not in 2013 if you're going by a playlist. Right, that's a different playlist, because that's a different year. So if you ever want to see the videos from all the years as they are in the compilations by year, that's how you look them up. They're in the playlists. Right. And don't forget, I want to hear from you. So if you saw Frosted or Frozen, let me know what you thought about it. As I said, the reviewers seem to like it, and the people seem to like it. So, maybe the $20 for a ticket to go to a movie is not such a bad deal. No. Okay? And don't forget, please, I know my channel sucks. If you guys could please at least contact me on Google Plus or on here, and let me know what I can do to fix my channel. Let me give you my channel information just in case you don't have it. Go ahead. http://www.y I don't know if they get to page. Just get the tiny URL. Okay. www.tinyurl.com/LUMIFINISTRA, and that will bring you right to my page. Please subscribe to it. It's free. And if you want to complain like Jessica Wall did, you can do that. I will do my best to answer your complaint and your beef. I always will respectfully try to do that. And don't forget that, if you have ideas for topics, let me know. Let Michele know on her channel. Please do. Yeah, we need them. Because, we're running out of ideas. In 2014 is a whole new year. So let's try to come up with some new topics. And maybe you have ideas, for example, for the studio. Yeah. Tell me, what would you like to see? How would you like to see the studio get done? I know right now it's pretty basic. So let's talk about it. Yeah, let's talk about it and have a good time. Right on. Okay? Talk to you guys. Bye-bye. Bye.